And we're back with some more Factorio. And our little factory is chugging along nicely. We're still going around on the very low-tech red, green, and black military science, so yeah, things are not very well progressed. But hey, it's a death world. You gotta go slow. Our pollution cloud is looking fairly minimized, and I just took out an expansion there a minute ago. Is that another expansion? No, that's just... Yeah, I think that's just the trees there are so good at absorbing pollution. Never mind, never mind. Let's not panic. Let's just get straight into blue science. Once we knock out blue science, we'll probably hang around there for a bit. Most of the really good stuff is under blue science. Like, for example, we do gain access to uranium enrichment and nuclear power, all with just blue science. So we can get up to pretty decent stuff. We'll even get some decent power armor at that level, though, you know, fusion reactors are going to be little mini fusion reactors we can stick in them will be a while off. We're also going to get advanced material. There's a bunch of stuff we get at blue that just makes it worthwhile getting it and stopping there because it's reasonably cost efficient. So we're going to chuck in blue science right here. We might need to put in some more gun turrets as well. And after that, stabilize the area, cut off this entire section, put in turrets, wall it in, make sure the bugs can't re-expand, and generally just tech up. Also, we need to tap into that iron pretty soon. How much iron we got left? 161k. Once that dips down to about 60k, we better be tapped into that iron or we're in a lot of trouble. This here is what the whole blue science line is gonna... Oh, 1 second. That battery science is finished. I have to clear that or people will start getting annoyed. Actually, we'll grab these. I'm advised to get defender capsules. I'm not a big fan of them, but on this difficulty it might be necessary. They're temporary defenders that fly around you and shoot. So it costs you 3 armor-piercing rounds of magazines, but for 45 seconds, this defender capsule will shoot its stuff nearby. Might be useful. We will grab them just to see, and we'll probably increase the robot follower count. How much does it increase it by? 5 to 6? Ugh. Sure, why not? We'll try them. We'll give them a go. Can't hurt. So this is the full line of it. It's not that bad, actually. What we need here is sulfur, because that feeds into this system. This thing requires sulfur, red circuits, and engines. Now, red circuits are making elsewhere. We're going to bust that in here. Sulfur we'll make on site. It's just going to require some petroleum. Actually, coal as well, is it? Yeah, no, coal and petroleum and water. We got that, no problems. And then over here, we've got the engine units. The engine units we make down here, and all they require is steel. We make that elsewhere. Iron gears, we'll make that on site, and pipes we'll make on site. So we make the gears and pipes here. They're going to flow along and feed into this system. The steel we ship in, and then that's pretty much it. It's just a case of threading this all together. Oh, and one of the reasons these things are all, well, exactly this wide, and why we don't have gaps between these things like that is, well, later on you can get speed beacons and efficiency beacons and all sort of stuff and put them in between them. Now, we're not going to be doing that with this particular base, but because that's what you normally end up doing, all of the designs sort of tend to be optimized for putting in beacons around them. So this is sort of a beacon build that we're not going to beacon later, but since you've already made the design, it's just easier to use one you know how to make. So, yeah, this thing got a little weird. You know what? Let's just hook it up and I'll try and explain the stupidity. You can go there, you can go there. Where are the red ships going? Yeah, the red ships are flowing along there. Iron plate comes in here, steel plate comes on the other side, and that way we're able to cram 2 items onto one belt. Over here, we've got pipes going onto one side of this belt, and then we've got gears going onto the other. That means we've got iron plate, we got steel, we got pipes and gears, all on like 4 items on those 2 belts. It's just a handy way to do things. And then we got the red chips coming in on the final belt. Then all that does is it comes all the way down here. This requires water and petroleum, but we'll get back to that. And then all we just fed into these machines. All we're missing now is the motors. Why are the motors not making? Guys? Oh, wait, yeah, no, over here they're making. It's just taking a while for the belt to saturate. Maybe I need to invest in faster inserters. No, we're good. We're good. They'll figure it out. All right, but that means that the science get made. Then once the science is finished, it gets spit out the other side. It might take a minute. And then that science comes down here. And we'll go all the way down to get fed into our science labs. That means we've got blue science kind of started, but it's going to take a while. And let's have a quick look at the calculator for a second. First up, this is just all of the stuff we're trying to do at the same time. We're trying to do, well, 45 items per minute, assuming we're using these blue assembly machines. Once we upgrade those, that'll actually get better. But not the important bit. The important bit is putting down 12 of these blue science production buildings will give us the correct amount of science. Then if we actually go in here, well, it's too bloody complicated. There's loads of stuff going on here, so let's simplify things down a bit by just excluding some pieces. Like, you can just click on something to exclude it, which gives us this far more simplified version. We're importing steel, we're importing the advanced circuits, so the only thing we need to do is put in 12 of these science machines, easy peasy, 10 of the motor machines, and then to feed those, we're going to need half a gear machine and one pipe machine. This is one of the reasons that 45 is just one of the most popular numbers here. Just, it works out so evenly that you only need one machine in a lot of instances exactly, as opposed to 1.5 or 1.2 or some odd number. Now, you will have the occasional 0.5 of a machine, but unless you want to double up and go with 24 blue assemblers, not really worth it. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and we do need a sulfur production thing so that we can feed that in to make the science. All the science actually requires is 1 sulfur, 3 advanced circuits, and 2 engines. Downsides. If we bring back in the red chips, we're going to need 9 of these red chips, and we're not actually producing that much. So we're going to have to bulk up red circuit production, which is going to make things slightly more complicated. Right now, we're only running 6 of those red circuit facilities. And that requires us to feed 1 copper cable into it. So we're going to have to increase that. We're also going to have to backfill more iron. You know what? Let's just start. So what we're going to do down here is basically take this build and just strap another couple onto the end of it. And hopefully not go so far that we overwrite the copper patch. Easy peasy. Just a copy-paste job. Problem is, not enough plastic. We've basically burned through all of our petroleum reserves. We're going to have to tap into some more oil if we want to keep doing this at pace. But that should take care of... actually, wait. I've forgotten an inserter. I had to manually craft another one of these. These are the stack ones that allow us to... Oh, damn it. There we go. Stack one allows it to double stack the copper coils. Alright, finished. Now, we're not going to have much input income from this just for a while until we hook up oil. To hook up oil, the closest patch is like way over here. So, the first things we are getting. Military level 3, and we're making a tank. Because that's literally all we can do. Military level 3 in a tank. In which case, we should probably get a bunch of engine units, some advanced circuits, 15 iron gears, and 50 steel plate. 32 engine units, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here's some we built earlier. We need another 4. All you need is some steel, gears, and pipe. Easy peasy. Right, I should probably put in more gears and steel, but that should be grand. That'll make us more than enough motors to get started on that new armor. Or the tank. And, ooh, I should probably make that armor as well. You know what? No, the tank will cover us for a while. We should really get around, though, to setting up ammunition production. All right, so we need steel plate, 2 plastic, and explosives. Oh, man, we're going to need oil just to even start. In that case, we're going to have to do an oil run. We're going to have to go out there, plug it in, maybe defend it with a few turrets around the outside, and then run the pipes back. And hopefully they don't kill the pipes. That would be the dream. We'll see how that works out. Oh, I totally forgot to explain a few things. Water's actually coming in from here. We're actually reverse flowing the water in from this section instead of putting it on the main bus. And that just pops through here all the way to that section. Then we're running it on. We'll continue that on to actually put on the main bus after the water goes past the sulfur production. It doesn't require a lot. It actually requires very little water to keep this thing functional. The petroleum's more the big issue. Then this pipe here, this is the one that carries the petroleum. Of course, we don't have enough petroleum anymore, and yeah, it'll probably be a while before we do. Actually, no. Once we get across to this new location, we should get enough petroleum, at least for a little bit. Oh, and I need to bring a bunch of pipes with me as well, don't I? Yeah, I should probably start crafting those now. Right, we have hopefully enough pipe for the second trip. We're going to do 1 trip to bring over power, and then a second trip to come back and drop off the piping. Where are we actually going? I need to go up about that direction. This is going to be horribly wonky power pole placing, but it's grand. There we go. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Right. I see the pollution problem this is going to cause. I think gun turrets are in order. Several of them. And power to go with it. The idea here is pretty simple. I'm expecting the attacks to come from either, well, the top or the bottom, at least for now. So we're going to add in a few extra wall segments on those areas, just to make sure that if they come down, hopefully the guns will have a bit of time to chew through them. That's assuming we get attacks, because we might be able to keep the pollution low enough that it doesn't become an issue. We're sticking in efficiency modules immediately, of course, and then all we got to do is run the piping back to base. Should be handy. Oh. Yeah, I should probably let the car out first. That would make a lot of sense. I mean, we could put in gates, but that just sounds like a lot of effort. Alright, bizarrely enough, we don't have any iron plates, so we can't finish this out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, 5 of them hooked up. That leaves 3 unconnected, but we can come back for those. That should hopefully... Ooh, tank is finished. I think next up I want energy distribution. This gives us substations. They're just really good for putting down lots of solar and capacitors, and I kind of want those to handle our power for a while. I mean, we are going to get into nuclear, but nuclear is a decent bit away. It's going to take a lot of effort. Like, we need to get uranium mining, then we need to get uranium enrichment, and then we actually need to enrich that uranium. Wait, we can process, yeah, both are needed to create uranium fuel. Oh, damn, the Corvax enrichment one is much further down along the line. Oh, I thought you used to be able to get 235. Well, like the Corvax enrichment, I thought it was lower down in the tech tree. Maybe they've changed that. Or maybe my memory's just playing silly buggers with me. Okay, it might be a while before we get nuclear. In that case, we're going solar, it seems. We're going to be going solar on a big way. In that case, we're also going to grab lasers while we're here then. And we'll queue up lasers, and then we're going to want laser turrets. And I think that will be what we'll need for now. We'll probably grab a few side grades here and there, but by and large, this is mainly where we're going to be stopping, cutting down on our pollution, and generally just, you know, expanding out, killing stuff, and using the research we've already got to survive. If we get any more research, it's going to basically create more pollution, which, well, is going to create more problems. Now, you need to go... No, you need to go in a semi-straight line. Watch out for the trees. Damn it. I feel like I should probably just run this. Alright, here we go. Let's go, and we ran out of piping. Damn it. I'm an idiot. Okay, I'll go back and grab some more piping. Okay, I think we got a problem. Pipeline overextended. I mean, we got to stick in a pump. We can stick in a pump. We probably have to build a pump first, but we can do that. Yeah, here we go. Okay, I think we've encountered a bit of a problem. Give me another couple of pumps, actually. What's happened here is we've put in the pump over here on the corner, and that seems to keep it pumping. So your back is fine, but then the pump starts pumping this onwards. And if we sever this line, say here, you can see the back half of it here near the pump is fine. So what we need to do is figure out where we have to stick on a second pump to make it keep going. Where is that pump? Oh, I may have queued up a few things here. 1 second. There we go. Got the pump. But what I'm seeing down here, and the devs are usually really good about this sort of stuff, is there's a warning right here. See there? That makes me think that's the end of the line. That's where the problem is. So if we say delete you, yeah, that seems about right. And we will have to put power near you. Done. Alright, now it's giving us another warning, but it's right at the segment. Okay. Maybe not perfect. 1 second. And if we sever this line? No, we got it right. It's just too long on the opposite side. Okay, fine. So you need a lot more pumps now. That's fine. I am okay with that. Though I will have to go pick up a few more engines in a bit. Alright, I believe the oil is now flowing. We've put in an extra motor there. So what the hell is that? Copy tip. Copy paste tip. Okay, that's excellent. Anyway, done. That means we now have oil flowing properly. That means these two refineries can start processing. And they are quite nicely. Excellent. And that will generate more pollution, which should hopefully attract more bugs. You can see that spreading out over there. We're going to have to go take care of that real soon, but I believe we now have tanks. So let's go get ourselves some motors and a few bits and bobs, and we should be able to construct ourselves our little murder machine. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Now we just got to get some cannon shells for it, which also requires petroleum. Damn it. Also, do we need more green circuits? No, green circuits seem to be holding up. Huh. Everything's kind of flowing. Let me check if there's any backlogs here anywhere. As far as I can see, steel's going, that's going. Why are these things so limited? What's actually blocking us? It's basically blue science. So blue science is too slow, and something's causing that. Red circuits. Okay, so red circuits are causing the bottleneck, and red circuits should now be spinning up as plastic kicks into gear. Oh, we need more oil wells. These guys are not processing enough oil fast enough, so we need a couple more of these boyos. A little bit of doubling down on petroleum production. We should probably get the upgraded version as well. There is an upgraded version of petroleum. Aha! Advanced oil processing. Much more efficient, much more complicated. We'll probably get into that. Ooh, we're going to want lubricant as well. Yeah, just so we can get into power armor. No. We're not going to go too crazy with this. We just want to get the tank out. So that gives us more petroleum, and in fact, I may just stick on a third one. Or fifth one, I should say. Reason being is we're going to need a lot of plastic for ammunition for the tank. Okay, that is looking a little bit healthier. It's still not as fast as we'd like, but at least it's moving. Alright, mild improvement. Let's go get some tank ammo together. The plan was to put in the ammunition here, but I'm seeing that there's a problem with plastic. It's just, there's not enough of it. I think yeah, we need to wait for advanced oil processing to kick in. We're going to get advanced oil processing, and then we're going to start getting more out of this oil. Once we get in the advanced processing, what happens is, instead of getting, I think it's 45 oil out, we get 45 petroleum. Instead, we'll get, I want to say 55. We'll also get a bunch of other byproducts we'll have to deal with, but we can also convert them as well. And coal needs a bit of a modification. One extra oil refinery, and I think... no, the petroleum's not really going up that fast. We're definitely going to need the advanced oil processing to get this working at full capacity. Okay, advanced oil processing. And this is where things get slightly more annoyingly complicated. Actually, let's get a oil refinery and show you what we're going to be dealing with here. With your basic recipe, all you're doing is you're pumping in crude, you're getting out petroleum. That's standard issue. Then you get your advanced oil processing. This gets you out 10 more petroleum gas per 100 crude oil put in, but you have to put in extra water on top of that. And as well as that, you also get byproducts, light oil and heavy oil. The light oil and heavy oil can be converted into petroleum gas through a bunch of processes, but it's a pain in the butt. It requires a bunch more buildings, and it requires a bunch of extra complexity. But thankfully, this has been done like a bajillion times before, so unless they've changed things massively, it should still work the old designs. Actually, before we took into this, I might produce the ammo facility just to get it started. I think we've caught up on the plastic here, and it's actually bottlenecked us on green circuits, and I'm kind of okay with that. I think we're cutting out the research for a bit anyway. So let's just concentrate on getting our weapons up so we can deal with any incoming problems first. This should also be fairly quick. This here is tank shell production. It's pretty handy. It's 2 steel plate, 2 plastic bar, 1 explosives. Steel plate we're getting off the bus. Plastic we're getting off the bus. That just leaves the explosives. The explosives, however, are a pain in the butt. Now, bearing in mind we're already bringing in 2 items here. We're going to need sulfur, coal, and water to make explosives. Coal and the water we import off the bus, but the sulfur we need to bring in petroleum and water for, which we then convert into sulfur. So we need petroleum, coal, and water to make that work, meaning we need 5 items. It's still doable, it's just a mild annoyance. Okay, this is a little dumb thing I just like to mention. It's basically, we want to direct insert sulfur into this explosive production. That should give us more than enough explosives to make the shells we're trying to make. And the thing is, we need to get petroleum into this. And normally you'd have these things facing sideways like this to get them all set up. But what we're doing is we're getting them to face towards each other. Then, by doing a little bit of sneaky breaky here, we can get the petroleum into that input. And we'll just put you there for now. So this is getting its petroleum without interfering with the water input on that. And then all we have to do is on the other side, we can actually do both of these guys at the same time. We'll put a water there. And done. So we put water in here and it feeds both of these simultaneously. And petroleum in there will feed that one. And do we need a second one? Actually, no, we only need 1 explosives for this. Then that's pretty much a whole bunch of this already done. All we really need after that is, well, the cannon shell production. You know what? We're going to double down. We're going to have twice the explosives, meaning we can double ammo production later if we want it or need it. Hopefully we don't. Now, I have not covered exactly why we're doing things in the order and all this sorts of stuff. That's my bad. I really should have explained this a little better. Let me try and explain sort of my long-term goal here. Now, the long-term goal has always been to seal off these areas. Now, initially I was thinking I would put gun turrets, but that's just... the amount of ammunition required would be ridiculous. So instead, the goal is to wall them off with laser turrets. However, first off, we got to clear out the biters. To clear out the biters, we need the tank and the shells. So we're trying to get the shells up so we can clear out the biters. And then, while we're busy clearing out those biters, what we're going to do is get ready for the laser turrets. To get ready for the laser turrets, we're going to need solar panels, which are down here. And then we're also going to need the batteries to go with them. In this game, they are called accumulators. So what we do is we chuck down a set amount of accumulators with solar panels, and that should provide us enough power to keep everything running off without using any coal. This will cut down on our pollution because we won't be using burners. At the same time, we'll also have more power to play around with, and we can use that power to power the laser turrets, which we need to also build. So we want to start building up our tank shells now, then expand out our oil production so we have enough oil or petroleum to keep everything running. Then we want to start placing down the accumulators, and then while the accumulators are building up in the background, we're going to take our tank with its tank shells and go and start clearing out all of those areas. Then, once we've cleared out most of the area, we'll come back here, queue up laser turrets to start building, take the accumulators and the solar, place them down, Then then after we've placed out enough of them to power our base quite substantially, we're going to run power poles out and make a big, well, load of laser towers everywhere to seal in this whole area. And hopefully we have enough power with all of the solar and accumulators we've made to run all of that. Giving us a nice, efficient way of doing things. How much ore we got? Okay, we got enough iron ore for now, but the first area we're going to have to seal off is here. We'll probably seal off here and here, or clear it out. That way we can gain access to that iron ore. That's really the big deal right now. So, ammo first, then oil, then clearance, then accumulators, then laser turrets. There's all. Once you have a plan, the problem is you realize just how much you got to do. Okay, I think we got this. The water's a mess. Just ignore the water. It's a horrifying mess coming from the other side. And if I had been thinking, I would have put this up one tile. It would have been neater, but no, there's no need. The petroleum's coming in from over here. Also a horrible mess. Please ignore that. And then it feeds into this sulfur machine, which is giving us all of the sulfur we need, and it's spit out into these two explosives machines directly. Also, the water goes into those machines quite nicely. Now all we need to get those running is some coal, which is going to come from over here. Coming off just off our bus line. Then that gives us the explosives. Damn it. Where do I send these explosives again? Wait, nope, I remember. Explosives go out there, and explosives go out there. Excellent. And that comes down here and gets fed into these machines, but they're still missing plastic and steel. Now, steel's pretty handy. We've got this over here. Well, oh, damn it. Well, I had it set up, and then I did the piping and messed the whole thing up. Just good old. Wait a second. Easy peasy. We just did a little bit of reverse fooey on it. It's fine. Then, that comes over here and gives us the steel. It'll float on that side. And where's the plastic gone? Wait, what the hell? Oh, wait, yeah, this is plastic. I'm getting all confused already. And our bus looks terrible, but I don't care. So long as it's semi-functional, it's fine. Okay, and now, yes, once the plastic gets to the end of the line, we'll start seeing our first shells being produced. And begun. And once that's finished, the shell will get chucked over here, sent down to the end, and get chucked into this chest. We should end up with about 400 to 800. I can't remember if it's 100 stacks or 200 stacks of shells. Then, that just leaves us with oil down here. We need to make this more efficient. I'm looking on storage. Yeah, we got plenty in storage, and petroleum-wise, oh, you've got half a tank. Okay. I still want to make this more efficient, though. We should probably bring down some water as well. We're going to need water to feed into this system. Right now, what we're doing is trying to rejig things a bit so this sort of works better. All of the petroleum output is now going to go over here. You see, when we convert over to this new system, we're going to have 2 new outputs, and, well, 1 new input. And that petroleum, we want to have it routed already so it's going where it needs to go. So right now, it's going to pop up here, go all the way across. There'll be more petroleum added to the line shortly, and then that will get sent over here and just onto our bus so that it gets sent along. So nothing else should change. Even if we don't change this right now, this thing will still function until we plug these in. So we still got to bring in water and a few other bits and bobs. Which reminds me, we should probably get... Where are we going to put in that water? Like, no, what you have to do with these things is either put in these sort of pipes bouncing all the way along, otherwise you can't place these things around or they'll just end up overlapping with each other. I'm thinking, yeah, something along those lines. And we bring in water along this axis. A bit like this. Done, done, done. That stops them from overlapping with each other, so we're not going to get any cross-contamination between the crude oil and the water. So you're going to have to go out this way, and we might run a second water line from over there. That might be just faster and cuts down on transport times. Well, transport costs, we might have to run, you know, one of those pumps or something to keep it going, otherwise if we take it from where we're currently accessing. Yeah, I somehow managed to hook up to the actual crude oil line. Yeah, my bad. No, it's fine. It's fine. We got this. We got this. Done. Water completed all the way across. Easy peasy. Now, I'm just going to pop down here for a quick second and grab some iron plate. We're still doing a lot of handcrafting, and we haven't set up any type of item production yet. We're still manually crafting everything like a filthy pocket crafter. Now, I can't remember what the terminology is. It's an everything store. Some people call it a mall. There's, like, different terms, but if you use the wrong one, you're a filthy casual for some reason. I don't know which one it is. For now, I think it's time we got ready to switch over. Now, how have I messed this up? I know I have somehow. I forgot about water for the splitters. All right, okay. Here's what we're trying to do. This thing is going to output, when we upgrade it, light oil and heavy oil. Now, what we can do with the heavy oil is we can chuck it into a machine, combine it with water, and it spits out light oil. And that way, the only outputs we're getting now are, well, petroleum and light oil. And then we take the light oil and we run it through these machines, and these machines take light oil and water, and they spit out, well, petroleum. So we're able to take the heavy oil and turn it into light oil, and then we're able to take all the light oil and turn it into petroleum, and that way we end up with just petroleum. Done. Now, the way I got these numbers was I just ran it through the calculator. The calculator told me how many of these I needed, and done. We're actually, this is a very small jury-rig setup, but it should do what we need it to do. I think the only thing left to do is actually turn it on, though. 1 second here. We're going to put you up there. And down to, oh, I want to say, no, actually, we can't do there. What I want to do is figure out where we're putting the water. Damn it. This is really awkward. Actually, if we change this over to here, we can give ourselves a little bit more room. And that way, crude oil can flow that way. And that frees up this entire section for more water. Done. Alright, let's try switching over one of them, maybe? Oh, wait, nope. There we go. Water's connected up as well. You guys ready to go? Yes, you are. Oh, and I almost forgot the efficiency modules. Actually, no, I completely did. Want to make sure we're not producing any more pollution than we absolutely positively need to. And power is grand. Okay, cool. Let's do this. We'll just switch over one and see what it breaks. I forgot to hook up the light oil. Oops. Okay, quick and dirty fix. All the light oil is going to come out here, go all the way across. All of them are going to combine together, pop out over here, and then that should jump across and get fed into all those systems. And there you can see they actually popped on for a second and produced some petroleum. And right now, petroleum has backed up. I think because... Oh, yeah, we caught up on all our research and things, so everything was no longer needed. Well, that's good enough for me. That means we should have a bunch of cannon shells produced. Yes, we do. Ooh, and we can also get our hands on some solid fuel to put in the tank. That way the tank will be a bit faster. 1 second while I figure out what we need for that. This here is the solid fuel stuff, and it's got a bonus to vehicle acceleration and vehicle top speed. Normally we've been sticking coal in things. Coal-powered tanks, probably not so good. I don't think there's any difference between any of these, so petroleum solid fuel, regular solid fuel, they're all the same? Huh. Could have sworn there was a difference between them all at some point. You know what? Doesn't make a difference. Let's make some solid fuel. I also forgot to hook up the heavy oil. Oil is tricky, okay? It's tricky stuff. We'll just make that a regular pipe there. There we go. Okay, so the heavy oil goes out that way. I'm thinking we use the heavy oil for making our fuel. The reason we want to use the heavy oil, well, the heavy oil is just the worst for everything. For example, when we convert the heavy oil to light oil, we take 40 heavy oil and we turn it into 30 light oil. So we're losing 10 of the heavy oil to make 30 light oil. And then when we take that light oil, we're taking 30 light oil and turning it into 20 petroleum gas. So that 40 heavy oil turns into 20 petroleum gas. So not really worth it. As in, we could make petroleum or solid fuel out of petroleum, but we'd be wasting some of this stuff. It's better off to just turn this stuff into solid fuel, considering it takes the same amount no matter which one we use. As in, actually, light oil is probably the best bet. 10 light oil makes 1 solid fuel. It takes 20 heavy oil or 20 petroleum. So yeah, light oil, it seems, is the winner when it comes to making petroleum or making solid fuel. I'd forgotten that. What we want to do here, though, is, well, make sure that the light oil goes to the fuel first. So we're going to use a pump. This way, we'll put that machine down here or something. I'm trying to squeeze things in here. It's a terrible mess, of course. This way, what we should be able to do is put that there, put that down to there, and boom. Any light oil, all the light oil produced over through these refineries has to go through here. So before it gets out to this section, it gets pushed through this pipe and sent down here. That should mean solid fuel gets produced first. Then we'll power this up. We'll make you some sort of box. And we'll say 4 stacks of that should be enough. Then I suppose it's convert the lot. Now, what's going on with our petroleum supplies? Are we actually maxed out? No. So why are you off? Something's blocking you. Crude oil? I messed up the crude oil line. Well, that's 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Done. Okay, so now they've all booted up. We got heavy oil. We got solid fuel coming out. Okay, how much is getting through? Seeing a little bit of petroleum get through, but I'm thinking most of it's getting pumped off, or most of the light oil is getting pumped down here. Okay. Some of it is making over there. I would prefer if it did not. I think an idea might be to put in a storage tank down here. And what we'll do is we'll stick in a storage tank right there. And then that should be the problem solved, right? Oh, wait, yeah. Power. Done. Now light oil gets stockpiled in there, so we always have an amount. This might actually be overkill, to be honest, but I want to be extra sure we have some lying around. Now, let's take this. Let's go kill some bugs. Wait, no. We gotta start the capacitors first, don't we, so we can have solar power built out later. Just 1 more minute. Then I get to shoot them. Alright. This was mildly painful. Not as bad as some of the others, and we're so close to killing biters, it needs to be done. Alright. You, petroleum gas and water. That's all you need, and you make sulfur. That sulfur gets pumped out here. Then it gets stuck into this machine. This machine combines water, sulfur, and iron plate. We haven't actually put on the iron plate yet, but we can do that right now. And yes, that starts going across the line. In fact, we'll hook up the copper plate now. It'll be along very shortly as well. Okay, so sulfur gets put into the sulfuric acid machine. That picks up the iron plate, the sulfur, and the water, and now it spits out sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid gets piped through here into these three machines so we can get batteries. The batteries are required for the capacitors, or accumulators, whatever you call them. And then, well, yeah, the batteries also require copper plate and iron plate, so all feeds off this line, they all get chucked in there, and then, boom, we get batteries at the back end. Oh, and there's this little bit of transport belt back here so that we don't have to leave a gap between these machines. We could leave a gap and just do a one-to-one transfer, but then they wouldn't be touching each other, and it'd be probably easier to do. Anyway, all of those batteries come down here, and boom. We're finally getting accumulators. There's our first one there now. Let's limit that. Let's say 4 stacks. And finished. With that done, we can now go blow up some bugs. How much ammo we got on us? You know what? Let's get more ammo. I think that might be too much ammo. But you know what? That's fine. Let's go grab some fuel as well. And let's load up the tank. And go do ourselves some shooting. This here is the tank. It comes in many flavors, but this one is ours. Now, you, give us some ammo for it. And I never went with flamethrower stuff. Damn it. How do you make flamethrower ammo? You know what? No. We're going to go hop in this. We're going to drive around and we're going to kill some stuff. Give me some fuel. Give me lots of fuel. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's good. I like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right, let's go pick a fight. We got small base over here. Let's go kill that real quick. Now, we should be able to just drive straight through trees if memory serves. Yes, we can. Little bit of slowdown, but it's not the worst. Oh, there's a big rock. There's no rock anymore. So we just got to watch out for cliffs. Circle, strafe, shoot. Okay. Ooh. Hey, guys, stop following us. You ever get that feeling you're being followed by crazy psychopathic bugs? Oh my god. It does a good job. And... yep. That's the whole nest down. Can we fire grenades from in here? Oh, that simplifies things entirely. So basically, we can use grenades to crowd control, and then use the turret to basically blow everything else up. Yeah. I like this. Now, you can't get explosive ammo for this, but then you end up blowing yourself up every time you shoot things. If something gets too close, which bugs tend to do, they try and run you down. And we'll keep the grenades out and open. Let's go clear out this nest real quick. Hi, guys. Yeah, you're fine. Oh! That actually just straight up murderized a whole bunch of them really quickly. And done. One more, and nest finished. Okay. And how do we change weapon? You know what? I'm not sure it matters. I should probably learn how to do that, though. Okay. C is next weapon, so we can swap back and forth. That's good. But equipment grid. This thing comes with an equipment grid. It can take batteries, laser turrets, roboports, solar panels, reactor. Like, yes! I want all these things. Okay, but we can't do that just now because, well, we're currently building up our solar capacity. But once that's done, I'll probably build a few of these on the side, actually. Oh, yeah, no. First, we're going to do some clearance. There's a whole bunch of things that need to die. Yeah. Whoop. Yeah, like, the thing is, we can just sort of circle around, and the amount of damage they can do to us is minimal. While we can still, like, just pound them away with these cannon rounds. The piercing on these is insane. Oh, my God. Okay, well, that's all of those done. Tell you what, guys. How about you just disappear? There we go. Then we just finished off these guys, and we move on to the next base. This is far faster than the Jeep. Okay, guys, enough. Uh-oh. Is that a heavily armored one? Or am I just losing my brains? No, actually, I think that was just a mildly heavily armored one. So, yeah, we're just going to run around for a bit and clear out areas. After much shooting and a lot of shells fired, we've cleared out pretty much everything in the nearby areas. We'll have to double... Oh, god damn it, a little base trying to spring up again. 1 second, I gotta go nab that. You have to make sure to nip these things in the bud the moment they show up. Otherwise, it just gets... they will continue getting worse. They don't shrink. And you know what? Die. Done. Alright, oh. And make sure you get away from the base before you hop out. If you step in acid, it will burn you. Lay up just like that. So maybe don't step in the acid. And if you step in a lot of acid, it will burn you a lot. Things I have learned. Alright. Where were we? Ah, yes. Just quickly doubled up green circuits there on the side. It was bothering me that it wasn't working flat out. Alright. I also forgot to mention... in the last episode, I had not extended these belts down the full way. It was pointed out in the comments that I had missed out on that, so belt was added just to make sure that all of these could run fully flat out. We're not really burning through everything we need, though. We need a few more science labs to really burn through everything. I'm just been slow, cautious, not going too crazy. All right, plan right now is... panic because we're running out of iron ore. Immediately tap into that ore. Run a transport belt back with just raw ore because that's all we need. But then... long-term goal. Okay, no, 1 second, I gotta run that. Okay, took a couple of runs back and forth, but we now have mining out here. That's gonna spread some pollution. Yeah, we should probably put down some turrets, shouldn't we? Yeah, we got 4 turrets. We could put them down here for now, but this is only a temporary solution. Right, you'll last about, like, 10 seconds if anything serious comes this way. So we gotta make sure that that pollution doesn't spread that far, if at all possible. It's got efficiency modules, it should be fairly efficient, and as well as that, it shouldn't be flat out. What we have done... yeah, let me drive back to base here. This might take a minute. Now, we should be setting up trains and things, but yeah, we don't have time for any of that. We're on a clock here. We have plugged that iron ore in here. So it's going to pop in here, and it's going to go into this system, and you should be set to go to the right. Output priority to the right. Why are you not... well, there we go. So that means... all the output from this mine goes through here and then gets sent in to do the smelting. And this new stuff that comes in here, that will get lower priority. As in, the stuff coming from the right and the left will be output priority to there. Everything else will stay in the middle. So hopefully it'll drain all of this first, at which point we can rip it out. But the long-term goal here, or the long-term plan would be, we've got like 2.3 million iron, 3.3 million copper, our highest yield oil over there. I was thinking we would put in our base here and have it stretch across this direction. So we're basically going to rip out this old base. We're going to transfer most of the materials that are in it and make a proper base over here, leave some space for trains, the usual. We even got all this water we can landfill in if we actually need it. Ah, damn it, and I forgot one thing. I should be putting together walls right now. Like a lot of walls. Right, you need to fill up with walls quickly. We need a lot of them. We're going to be walling in half the damn map. Okay, solar panels, time to deploy them. 1 second. We may have stocked up a little bit. Let's put down just a few batches to give an idea of what's coming next. Right, first up, we shall put down a little substation. We'll chuck you down right there, and then we'll grab some solar panels. Give me those. Now, right about there. Well, we can, so long as it's on one piece of the substation, it's fine. And then we'll just put down as many solar panels as we can inside the radius of this. Done. Bunch of solar up and running. We should probably connect this up to the main grid, though. Awkward. I don't like the placement of that. These are just basically very rough. We're not trying to do anything too fancy here. Now you can go right about... Oh, damn it. There's something in the way. You can go right about there, and your job is to do capacitors. Now, actually, these guys are the same size as those thingy-me-whats. It's the substations in the middle. We handcrafted a bunch of those. And these guys basically act as, well, batteries to store power. So while the solar is going on during the day, these things should charge up. You can see the charge bar on the right-hand side there. That's probably being charged by coal right now. Or God knows. We should probably check our power overlays. How are we looking right now? Nope, solar is actually, yep, maxed out. Give us the last, this is the last minute. Yep, solar has pretty much taken over. It's flatlined everything else. Cool. In that case, we shall just build an entire block of this. And done. So, there's a perfect ratio you can have, or a golden ratio between the amount of solar panels you have and all that. Nah, we don't care. We're just going to do a reasonable amount, and this actually works out pretty okay. I mean, it's not great. Ooh, actually, no, let's put that there. We want to keep this mildly symmetrical. And then we just take the next guy, and we plop him over there. And then we just chuck down more solar panels, and done. Actually, wait a second. No. We're going to keep this consistent. I'm not going to mess this up. Yeah, if we check power production right now, after the two of them go up, we have... Yeah, we're fully on solar. We are completely on solar, and steam engines are kicking in a tiny bit. Oh. Why is steam engines kicking in? It's probably getting late at night. Yep, power output is dropping. Right. That was pretty dumb. But it's simple. It's done, simple, and it works. What's the solar panel at? Perfect. And we're actually going fully green at the moment. Alright, give me 1 minute though. We do have to set up a tiny scooch of automation on our boilers to stop them from turning on all the time. Turns out, I forgot to research circuit networks, so we don't have any circuitry for doing automation, but that's fine. We'll research that in no time at all. Down here, this seems to be working just fine. We have set this to input priority left, output priority left. So it comes in on the left, outputs on the left, same over here, inputs on the right, outputs on the right, which means it's borrowing as little as possible from the stuff on the far end. Yeah, that pollution's not too big. We should be grand. Yeah, however, once this is fully empty, which probably won't take that much longer, it is going down rapid. But once that's empty, we'll be fully dependent on that, so we're going to need to reinforce it. I just want to make sure we've got our power sorted, because right now when it switches to nighttime, you see it's kicking into the steam engines. It should use the capacitors, but it won't, because these things will override it. So we need to find a way to shut those off, which is where circuit networks come in. How do we use these again? It has been a minute since I've used these. Okay, so, figured out how to make green wires. You click on this, you used to have to craft those in the past. Now, you can't hook up automation to the boilers, it seems. Kind of makes sense, they're steampunk, so, yeah, no hooking up anything to them. So, I vaguely remembered something to do with a power switch, which I then crafted. And then I believe the plan is to do the following. Yeah, power switch connection. Yeah, so we can connect two things like that, and then we can turn the switch on and off using a some sort of logic something or other. So, plan. We get one of these capacitor accumulators over here. It starts loading up with power. We get a copper wire from there to there, and from there to... Can it go to there? No, it cannot. 1 second. From there to there? Yes, it can. Excellent. Then we just need some sort of automation signal to turn this on and off. This took me a hot minute to figure out. I should probably explain this a bit better. If you'll check in here, this is now on its own little private grid. So these power plugs here... Ooh, actually no. You need to go. You're spending power that we don't want spent. So this here is a private grid. So you'll notice all the steam turbines have turned off. Everything's still working though. All the power is still running. Everything's fine. What's going on right now is you can see that the accumulators are draining. That bar on the right, it's slowly going down. And what I've said on this is, actually I probably shouldn't put 70. This thing outputs something. Pretty much everything outputs a value of some sort, usually what's in it. So this is outputting its value, which is A signal 85. I don't know why it's 85. All that really matters, though, is the 80 number. It's 100 when it's fully charged, and as it slowly goes down, it's basically giving the percentage of charge left in the accumulator. Then what we had to do in here was, this took me a little bit of fiddling around, we had to set a size on this, so we basically picked the variable, and since this is sending an A, we came in here and we selected an A. Yeah, I know that. Then it was able to read the A and see the number. Then we just said, if that number goes below 70, we would like you to enable disable. In fact, let's make that number 80 for a minute, and you'll see those steam turbines turn on. Actually, make that, there we go, 80, set 80. Boom, and then steam turbines turn off, on and then off, on and then off. Oh, never mind, it's daylight again. 1 second. Had it close by autosave. Was able to go back a minute or so. Okay, it's just gone to nighttime. Solar power is going through the floor. Give us it. Yep, you can see solar power is dropping off a cliff as the sun goes down. However, the accumulators are taking up the slack and they're draining themselves to provide power to the grid to keep all the machines running. These steam things are doing nothing because nothing's drawing power and they're on their own separate little grid. And the only way they can connect to this grid is if this switch flips on. And the only way that'll flip on is if this goes below 70%. Let's crank that up to 90. And then watch as it turns on and then sort of flickers on and off. You can see it there sort of flickering on and off. And that massive bounce. Basically, it turns on, charges the accumulator until they hit 90%, and then stops again. And it just keeps doing that, bounce and up and down. So what we really want to do is set this to something much lower. We would like to set that to, say, 20%. And done. This way, these things will not switch on until the power in this accumulator goes below 20. And since all the accumulators on the grid share the same level, as in all of them, if one of them's at 100%, they're all at 100%. Unless you've put something down that's very new or a new accumulator, any accumulators on the grid shares its power with everything else. So they all end up at the exact same level. So this way we're able to tell exactly how much battery storage we've got of power, and if it drops below a certain amount, these things kick in and the backup power kicks in to keep the base going. So assuming we have enough solar and capacitors now, no, we should never, ever need to draw power again. Which should also cut down on our pollution. Let me check. Our fourth biggest polluter is boilers. Number 1 is steel furnaces. Ooh, we'll get on those later. Next plan is we need to start mass producing laser turrets. I think we have a decent amount of power coming in. What are we actually at during the top of the day? Ooh, okay. We're at 4.6 out of a potential 13. So we got plenty of power to spare to start pumping into laser turrets. Then, once we've got the laser turrets up and running and we've secured the whole area, we can just start building just a big mega base. We place the edges of it right here. We should be able to build it across the map. And most of this we can pave over. We've got water over here, oil, all of the necessary bits and bobs. We should be sorted for a while. Ooh, we might want to start harvesting that uranium as well. No distractions. Plan is simple. Wall in, laser turrets, build new base. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed and good luck.